which I can help you out. Any questions till now? Okay, fine. Today we are going to discuss about like a sequence generator. But before going to the sequence generator, first of all, try to understand what is a sequence. Okay, why we need the sequences. For example, I do have a table like employee table. Okay, so just think about this table. I'm having a employee table. What if you are having the same data, maybe it's spread across like a uh, maybe in a millions and maybe like a kind of more than 1 million records. Then I want to read the data. Okay, so how exactly you are going to read the data? What is the kind of the primary criteria for you? Okay, the basic thing what you have to do when you look at the structure wise, right? So always it's better to have a kind of in a column that is kind of in a uniquely defined for every record. In this example, my employee number is uniquely defined, right? Maybe my name is repeated. ABC is here and ABC is here and ABCD is here and BCD is here. Like everything is duplicated. But like one employee number, right? Like that is the only key thing which is not duplicated. So maybe you can take a best example. If you join in any company or like if your Aadhaar card number or like maybe any phone number, with the same phone number, you cannot see any other person having the same kind of number, whatever you are having, right? So the telephone industry, okay, maybe in the telephone tables, okay, telephone number is kind of the primary. Okay, like that, every table in a relational object or like a relational tables, right? Which I mean, I won't say like every table, but like most of the tables which are having a referential integrity. So most of the tables will have a kind of a primary columns. Okay, so these are called constraints. Okay, primary key is a kind of a constraint. Okay, and what else, like what are the other constraints? So there are like other constraints also, like so the primary key is one and foreign key is another one. Okay, and even you do have a kind of an indexes and they kind of different kind of a concept. Okay, and surrogate key is a different kind of a concept. There are so many concepts which are like kind of surrounded for this specific concept. Okay, that is kind of a uniqueness. So, what is the purpose of maintaining uniqueness? The only the reason for maintaining the uniqueness is to identify each and every record individually. The best example is I joined in a company. Okay, my employee number is maybe 100 or 101. So, in that organization, if I want to refer any person, what is the best criteria? Employee number only, right? Or maybe all you experienced the hall ticket numbers, exam hall ticket numbers. Every person hall ticket number is different. You agree? So if you want to allocate anything, excuse me, to that person, how you will go? Basically, you will go based on the hall ticket number only. Central location or like maybe the papers, correction of the papers or results, everything is linked with that, the unique number, whatever you're having. In the same way, in the data warehousing also, or like not only data warehousing, most of the relational objects are like created with a kind of a primary key and foreign key concept. Then only you can create a certain relationships. Is this point clear? Now, but there is a little bit difference. Okay, there is a little bit difference in data warehousing. So what is the difference? In the data warehousing, right? Normally, there is a chance for the same employee. Okay, for the same employee, the employee can move into different areas. Okay, so what does that mean? The different areas means. Let's take an example. So the same employee. So this is a regular general table. Okay, so in a relational database. But there are chances, right? Like this employee can move to a different location. So let's talk about only up to this data. Okay, maybe first record only we'll talk. Okay, so this record is this employee number 101 ABC. His current location Hyderabad, right? But I would like to see this person. Okay, current location. But this person is moved to Chennai now. Just think about that, Chennai. So now the same employee, there is no change at all. Okay. Now, can I have this as a kind of a primary key? In this scenario, can I have the employee number as a primary key? Because I'm saying it's a primary key. In the primary key, it will never allow a duplicate entry. So obviously, this 101 will not be allowed. What is the alternate option? Because I should maintain the data. Think about this, guys. What is the alternate key? Anyone can think of?
We can keep any add-on.
Right. We should have one more add-on column. Okay. So what is that column we are going to call? That column name is surrogate key. Okay. So remember this point, very, very, very important. Surrogate key. Surrogate key is a kind of a primary key for a given table where the existing primary key is not in use. Uh, so to maintain distinct values in a dimension tables, okay, normally we will go with surrogate keys. Okay. In this example, what I have to do if I supposed to do like this, maintain a separate column called employee key. Clear? Employee key. So what exactly I have to do? I have to populate the number like this. Okay. First time. Okay. Maybe I'll delete this data. First time, the first record shown. Okay. Maybe the employee number is a primary key, but not for this table, only for the source table. But this is the employee underscore target. Okay. Now, employee key I have to maintain. So for this one, right, in this scenario, employee key is becoming a primary key. Clear? Employee key is becoming a primary key. Now, this is going to be a kind of a primary key, and this is going to be a kind of a regular column. Now, first record 101 ABC Hyderabad. What will the value? The value will be 1. Next time, this employee moved to different location. Okay, that location would be Chennai. Okay, now this is going to be second record. Okay, and the third record, this employee got married and her name got changed. Okay, maybe it's a female, so her name got changed. Same employee, there is no difference. Okay, now it's become like the last name got changed, ABT. Okay, location of the same. So now 3. But how I have to automate this thing? Because as this is Excel, just I'm entering the data. But who is going to provide these values, these surrogate values? For that, I do have a transformation that is called sequence generator. Okay, any questions on this one? Sequence generator is a kind of simplest transformation. Okay, so there is nothing much you can do with the sequence because there is no input ports in this thing, only two output ports. One is next value and other one is kind of a current value. Okay, there are only two ports. There is nothing. It cannot even receive anything from the other transformation. It is only used to generate those sequences. Right? So you know now the purpose, right? What is the necessity of a sequence? So whatever I explained, right? That is what the necessity. How you are going to do this thing? You have to use a sequence generated transformation. Guys, in the interview perspective, remember one thing. Are we really need to use a sequence generator? Do you have any other options? Yes. The database also will have the property called sequencing. Okay. So either you go with the database or you can go with the sequence generated transformation. Okay. Now, what is the major purpose of this one? Is it active or passive? It's a passive because there are no records coming into this one and there are no records going out also. Only thing is generating the sequences. That's it. It's not generating any record. Okay, that's the reason it's a passive transformation. And remember, there is no input port for this one. Okay, only output ports. There are two output ports. One is next value, and one is the current value. So normally the next value is written to the target. Okay, if you take any example, right? So this is how a mapping looks like. Normally a next value will be written to the target. Okay, and next current value, whatever the value you loaded into, right? Okay, so that is going to be your current value. So next time, for example, there are like 10 records. So I explained in my example, right? First time a record came. Okay, now you have to think about the next val, current value. First time a record came. Okay, first time the current value will be 0 because nothing is there, right? So next value will become 0 plus 1. That is 1. And again, the current value will become 1. Next value will be 1 plus 1, 2. Like that, you are going to generate these automated numbers. Any questions on this logic? But like I'm adding like a 1 by 1 or like 1 to the next number, 1 to the next number, 1 to the next number. But if I have a requirement instead of 1, I need to add like 10. Can I able to do that? Yes. That is called a third property. You do have an option to increment, okay, value also. So the increment by is a kind of a field what you're supposed to select. Okay, now let's look into what exactly you mentioned here. So whenever a row is written to the expression transformation, in this example, right, or like a next value is written to the target. Okay, I think he written this wrong. Whenever a row is written to the target transformation. Okay, so that is what the thing. But like in this example, there is no expression. At least in this picture. Next value is written to the target, and next value is set to the current value. That is what I explained here. Current value is increased by increment by value set in the properties. Normally, there is another field or like maybe property increment by. In my example, I explained like 1, okay, for every record. Maybe you can set it to 5 or 10 or like 20 or like 7, whatever the number. Whatever the number you are putting for the increment by, that number is going to add to your next value. Sorry, current value. Use the current value only if you need to second sequence output. Okay, there are 2 ports available, next as well as the current. So if you want to use like both the ports, normally no one will use it. But why they give the ports? I mean the 2 ports. If in case anytime you required, okay, to maintain 2 separate kind of a sequences. Okay, so these are the kind of properties. Always the start value will be 0. Okay, but like see, if you want to change, you can change. But okay, so normally you start with the 0. And increment by, this is what I was been talking. Increment by is 1. Okay, here also you can change it to maybe whatever the number you want. End value, like what is end value? These many numbers, these many sequences you can generate. Okay, this is a default number. But if you want to change, you can definitely change. Okay, by looking at the next property cycle, okay, you can see the current value also. Every time a record is loaded, your current value is going to be updated. Okay, cycle. So basically, whenever you check with the cycle, right, the sequence generated into the start value when the end value is reached, otherwise it stops. For example, the end value I put like 5. Okay, assume start value is 0, end value I put like 5. Now, when the number of records reach 5, again it will continue from 0. You got it? So, for example, I loaded like 5 records and my end value is 5. So, for the 6th record, again it's going to be from 1. So, for every 6th record, okay, your value is going to be repeated because I selected the cycle option here. Clear, right? Now, number of cached values this is another property. Enable storing multiple values when the same sequence is used in multiple sessions simultaneously. Normally, the cached values means basically it stores that the value, and whenever you are using in multiple sessions at the same time, right? Normally, you need some place to store the latest number so that that number will be continued even in the other session. If reset, this is another property. If it is checked, each session returns to the start value. Otherwise, each session continues from the last stored value. What does that mean? Returns means, for example, my session ran today. Okay, my session ran today, and it processed like 100 records. Normally, if you process like 100 records, right, current value will be what? 100. But if I select this reset, right, everything will be resetted. Okay, whatever that the first time the numbers. Okay, 0 is a 0 or like anything by 1, everything is same. But unless you select it as in a reset, right? Okay, it will continue. The current value will change. Okay, based on number of records you loaded, and based on that count it will go. But if you select a reset, again it will go back to that same stage. What is the difference between reset and cycle? Cycle is like once the end value is reached. Reset is every run. Okay, every session run, it's going to be reset. And tracing level, the last one. It's either normal or verbose or test. Okay, basically the level of information, level of details you want to see as part of the session log, right? Basically, you have to select this test or normal based on that property. Okay, maybe you can see for one of the sessions. Okay, what exactly is this one? Okay, so the amount of data, whatever is written to the target, right? Sorry, log, right? That is what the tracing is. This will be available for every transformation. Okay. Now there is one good thing and one bad thing. For example, if I'm selecting this tracing level, okay, instead of normal, like maybe other property verbose, okay. So the kind of a detail, whatever you are putting in a log, right, will increase like in it. Means it will show like for every record whatever is happening and whatever the record is processing. With that, one good thing is you will see like each and every aspect what is happening as part of your record processing. But one bad thing is, for example, if you are having 1 million records, for every record you will have an entry in that log, and log will consume most of the spaces from the server. Okay, and at the same time it will consume lot of time. So these are the two drawbacks, or sorry, two negative things, and maybe I can say drawback. But positive thing is you will understand the data in a clear way, how exactly it is processed. Okay, so that is what the kind of a concept of basic. Any questions till now? Now, guys, I'm assuming you completed this mapping stage underscore dates. If you complete, then only we can go for the dim underscore dates. Okay. So let's try to take the time even today. Okay, because today just like I need to move to the next one. So tomorrow we'll try to evaluate the stage dates. Okay, stage dates is a little bit complicated. Okay, a little bit like maybe I would say it's not a complicated. Maybe you have a lot of scope to perform your practices. Okay. Fine. Yes. Okay, so when would you use the sequence generator transformation? Any thoughts around this? Anyway, I'm going to put these questions okay in my forms. Okay, but just like if you have any questions, I can answer this one. When we use whenever a necessity of surrogate key needed, then you are going to use the sequence generator. Okay, what is the relationship between next value and current value? Current value always stores the latest number, whatever has been loaded. Next value always used to connect to that next transformation to populate the value. Let's move on, guys. Any questions on this one? Now, again, we are going with the lookups. Some more concepts on lookups. You need to understand how caching is happening, okay, on the lookups, and what are the different kind of things you have to focus, okay, whenever you are working with the lookup transformations. Basically, the lookup is happening, right? Like, let me show you again. For example, I'm having employee data. Okay, maybe let's take this 10 records. Yeah, I think you already having this, right? Right. I don't know why I put all these things, but maybe let's delete this thing. Now, I do have a data, okay, in my source data. Like I'm looking for this 101 ABC. I would like to load into my dim underscore employee. Now, I'm using a lookup transformation. Okay, so lookup transformation is listed here. Now, how lookup will work technically, okay, in the behind the scenes. First record, okay, first record is employee number 101 ABC Hyderabad, right? This record is going into my target. Whenever it's going to target, right? So basically this record has to go through this lookup transformation. So to the transformation, what I'm sending, what is the condition on this lookup? What is the condition on this lookup? Employee number source dot employee number equals to salary dot employee number. You guys agree? Are you with me, guys? Very, very important, guys. You need to understand this concept, how lookup is working. Whenever the first records come to your lookup transformation, that is 101 ABC Hyderabad is touching your lookup. Means it's trying to come into this lookup transformation. First, immediately to try to focus on the join condition. Okay, that is this one. So this join condition will try to match this 101 is matching or 101 matching. Now, before even to perform this thing, okay, when the first time it touches the lookup transformation, immediately a cache will be built. Immediately a cache will be built. The cache will be built, okay, whatever is there on this target table. Okay, whatever is there on this lookup table, right? This cache will be built. This is called cache. What do you mean by caching? It's a temporary area or temporary location. Okay, basically it's a temporary location where you can perform your logic or like maybe the kind of lookup operation. Caching for salary. Okay, it will be named like this, lookup underscore salary. This cache will contain the same thing, just like your lookup table. Okay, so normally your joins will not happen on your lookup table, it will happen on your cache. Then this record, whatever is here, right, it will go like here into the cache and it will try to compare. Now the 101 will be sent here. Okay, 101, go and search in the table and get the value. Now what will happen? Forget about the table now. It will create a cache now. Okay, it will be searching only this cache. So for this 101, first it will try to scan from the first record. 101 is available? Yes. What is the corresponding salary? 1000. Get it on. Is there any another 101? Yes. What is the salary? 2000. Is there any 101 over here? No. Okay. Now, is there any 101 is here? No. Because I came to end of the table. Now, finally, I got two. It will ask, hey, I got two records for a given one single record. Okay, if you make it as an active transformation, then this two, you can return this two. If you make it as a passive transformation, this lookup transformation, right, then it will pick either first value or last value. By default, it will pick the last value. Okay, even you do have an option to make sure, like in case of multiple records for a single record, you can error out this record as well. But normally people will take the, or by default, the Informatica will take the last record, that is 2000. Okay, 2000 will be sent out to the salary along with the 101 and the kind of an employment, whatever the next part. Ultimately, this is going to be kind of a result into your target table. If you understand this the way, step one, from the source record will be pushed to the lookup transformation, and step two, based on that input, okay, so immediately lookup cache will be created, and based on the condition, the lookup will try to compare, okay, the transformation will try to compare with the incoming join field or the value with that lookup cache. Okay, in this example, employee number is the join condition. So employee number will be compared with that employee number field, and it is going to return the values. In my example, I'm returning the salary 1000 and 10,000. Based on your option, it's going to return either 2000 or 1000. By default, it will return 2000. Okay, and so that 2000 will be populated as a record into your dimension table. Any questions, guys? Very, very, very important to understand. Any questions? You should be in a situation to explain this thing to the interviewer. Okay. Now, let's try to understand the kind of lookups. We'll discuss what is a persistent and what are the things. By default, lookup cache is enabled. Okay, so because without enabling the cache, right, like it's very difficult to perform the joins. So always lookup caching should be enabled. Okay, now I was talking about like a multiple match, right? So lookup policy on multiple match. Either you can take the first value or the last value. Okay, you can take anything. So by default, maybe it's my bad. Okay, so I think it's an aggregate transformation, but like here, maybe lookup transformation, I need to check this once again. Okay, when we are doing lab checkouts. So if in case of multiple matches are there, right? Which one you're supposed to pick it up? Next one, lookup condition. Okay, this is what the condition I was talking about. Employee number from lookup table equals to source employee number. And connection information, so it's a just regular one. And the thing what you have to focus here is the lookup cache persistent. Why? What first of all, what is the meaning of persistent? Any guesses? What is the meaning of persistence? Very, 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 very important word. Okay, I'm just asking the dictionary. Persistence means, okay, persistence means it's kind of a how I can put it, maybe in technical way. I don't know the exact dictionary word to put in a proper way, but like coming to the informatical side, right? The persistence means it's going to be stay forever. Okay, that is what the persistence. Same way, if I put it to the my lookup cache, right? Whatever the if I select this cache as a persistent, it's going to save. Okay, it's going to save on the server. Okay, so what is the use of this? Normally, whenever a session is complete, right? So what will happen is the session will terminate the cache. Okay, so once the session is complete, okay, once the session is execution is complete, okay, once the records came into your target, immediately even this the kind of a temporary space allocated for the cache is gone. Now try to understand the scenario. For example, I'm having instead of this salary, how many records I'm having? Maybe 3 records. This doesn't matter for me. Assume there are like a 30 million records. Okay, just think about this 30 million records. For this 30 million records, I am creating a cache. How long it will take? Just think about that. For 3, it doesn't matter, but 30 million, it definitely takes some kind of maybe hours of time or sometimes minutes of time. But when you are able to create the cache by spending like almost 30 minutes to 1 hour, why can't you reuse the same cache? Because once the session is completed, right, you cannot lose that cache. Of course, it's a temporary space, okay? But once the session is complete, you are losing everything. Instead of that, when you make it as a persistent, right, it will store somewhere on the database, not on the database server. Okay, so that when you run the next time, right, when you run the next time, it will try to use the same cache. It won't spend that much time again. So if your cache need to use by multiple jobs, okay, then obviously you have to go with the persistent cache. And one more thing you have to remember. So during these executions, the cache should not get refreshed. Okay, if it refresh, there is no meaning, right? Because just think about this mapping only. So first time when you create the cache, you have 3 records, but somehow the salary table got one more record like 104. Okay, maybe XYZ and salary is 5,000. In this scenario, your cache is outdated. That's the reason you have to make sure whenever you're using confirmed, persistent caches, right? Always make sure that cache is also refreshed, okay, in a particular interval, or else you will read that stale data. Stale data means it's a wrong data. So if anyone asks you the kind of what kind of performances you improved in the interview, this is what the kind of a main thing you can showcase. Okay, now this is what a lab is supposed to perform. Stage promotions, you have to load into the team promotions by getting the dates, I mean, the kind of dimensions information from the dates. But anyway, the problem with this thing is you cannot do this unless you complete the dim underscore dates. Okay, so see, I mean, how much dependency is there? A lot of dependency without completing the dim underscore dates, you cannot proceed your lives. So try to complete that one. Maybe you will have like a one more question in your interviews. Not only confirmed dimension, sorry, persistent caches. Even you have another cache that is a named cache. Okay, so what is a named cache? When you are giving some name to the cache, right? Normally it's called a named cache. So that means the same name you use in some other session. Okay, just kind of a persistent cache concept, but maybe they can twist it in another way. Let's move on to the next one. Before going to the sorter and aggregator, right? Maybe I'll try to cover one important thing for today. That is a router and update strategy. Because we just completed the filter, right? So now in comparison with the filter, we'll try to discuss with the router. Anyone have any idea about the router? Sorry guys, today my throat is completely gone. My voice might be a little low. I'm trying. Let me know if you are not able to hear properly. Any questions, guys? I mean, sorry. Any thoughts around router transformation? What exactly you can think of router? See, always when I'm explaining something, right? So just at least like a 5 seconds or 10 seconds, think about that, so that your brain will, I mean, open a kind of a channel, okay, to take the inputs. Okay, always think at least like a one, I mean, at least 10 seconds, whatever I'm talking. Just think of a router. What exactly you can feel of? 5 more seconds. Just think. Okay, anyone got any?
What according to my terms, according to the simple terms, channelizing anything like segregating to something like one to so many of channels, or 1 to 3, or 3 to 1, like that. One is to
Right.
three.
Right. So when you are bringing something right from the source, okay, and you would like to populate the same data, or maybe you would like to populate, classify the data and then populate into multiple targets, okay, maybe to put it in Informatica perspective. I'm getting like a maybe 1 million records, but these 1 million records are having different locations information. Like, so some records are coming from central, some records coming from east, west. But while loading the data into target, I need to separate them. Then I need to have some logic that is called router. But there is a considerable difference between filter and router. In the filter, right? So I can only filter out the records. Okay, I cannot capture whatever is filtered out. But in the router, I do have an option to capture. For example, maybe if I'm using a filter, right? So I would like to populate the employees who belongs to central. What I will do, I'll put a filter condition like employee location equal to central. But then what about the east and west? Only central employees will go to the next transformation. But east and west, they will be discarded. Means they will not be captured. And there's the one thing. Second thing is I cannot classify the records by using a filter. I can put like either one condition. Okay. Okay. But like with that condition, data will go out. That's it. I cannot route the data into multiple groups. By using a router, I do the same thing, whatever I'm talking now. I can route the data into different sections. The most important thing, the most important distinction is in the filter, whatever the records are not eligible with your condition, they will be discarded. But in the router, you do have a separate group. For example, I'm having a customer data from central, east, west. Okay, but there are, you see, I separated 3 groups. Okay, if I do the same thing with the filter, what will happen? The rest of the records, maybe they are from the north, or maybe they are from the south. Okay, those kind of data will be discarded. Okay, if I'm using a filter. But in the router, other than central, east, west, everything will be captured as a default group. Okay, as a default group. If you want to really put that in a separate file or target, yes, you can do. But filter, I don't have that option. Okay, now to put in a simple way, if anyone asks you what is the difference between filter and router, okay, so because these are like a two kind of a comparable transformations. And the best answer is filter is used to, okay, filter out the records, and router is to classify the records into different groups. And the major difference is in the filter you cannot capture the discarded records. In the router, you do have an option to capture the discarded records by using a default group. This is way you have to explain, okay, the filter to router. Anyway, now we will see the next transformation, also update strategy transformation. It's kind of as the name suggests, right? Like think about like a name, okay? With the name itself, you can see. So to update any record on targets, right? Basically, we use the update strategy. Very important. So these two, router, update strategy, and I will look up, okay? These 3 are kind of a heart and soul to perform slowly changing dimensions. Okay, I'll talk about them maybe today, maybe after a few minutes. So this is what I was talking about. Router is used to classify the records and sending into a different groups. If you look at this example, right, the people who got hired 90 days ago will go in one, the position code not equals to sales will go in another target. Okay, and position code equals to sales will go to another target. How you are going to create? So there is a kind of a property or like maybe a tab groups. Okay, so in the groups you are going to create the conditions. Based on the conditions, you are going to see the data into different groups. Finally, you do have this default, right? Whatever is not matching with the first one, second one, third one, everything will come into the default. Okay, rest of everything other than these three will come into default. So this is how it looks like, but that's okay. I'll show you with an example. Okay, so update strategy, as I mentioned, update strategy is used to perform update on a given target table. Okay, but you do have an option in the update strategy transformation to perform a kind of an editorial check. That means like maybe you can apply your logic. Means if something happens, insert it. If something happens, update it. Okay, that is what kind of logic you can apply. Now, in the update strategy transformation, you do have four different kind of properties. One is dd underscore insert. If you put this property, right, okay, all the records will be inserted. If I put like a dd underscore update, all the records will get updated, whatever is going through this transformation. If I put dd underscore delete, the records, whatever market for this thing as a delete will be get deleted on the target side. dd underscore reject, whatever is marked for the dd underscore reject will get rejected, means it will not even go into the target. Clear on this one? Or even instead of writing like a dd underscore insert, right? Even I can put like a 0 as a numerical equivalent numerical number. Instead of dd underscore update, I can put 1. Instead of dd underscore delete, I can put 2. Instead of dd underscore reject, I can put 3. Okay, this is a numerical representation. Anyway, even we'll try to see this thing. And default values, right? So default values means, for example, if I am getting a null value from any given column, so every time I cannot check the logic. Okay, if it is null, populate this thing, or like if it is not null, I can do this thing. What I will do is simply put a default value. Okay, for integers, just put like any kind of a number, because even it will, you have to evaluate that. So basically for the dates, you cannot put the number. It will not consider that. It will error out. Okay, so whatever the field is coming, just want to make by default some number. If in case of any nulls or something, right? Just try to put that default value over here. For the strings, also you can put a default value. For the numbers, also you can put a default value. For the dates, also you have to put a default value. But the only difference is you have to put a corresponding things over there. Okay, for a string, simply you cannot put like a 9999. Only for decimals, you can put like a number. For strings, you have to put something in a string format. For dates, you have to put in the date format. Source qualifier overrides. Okay, so today we will try to showcase, okay, how you are going to override the query, whatever is there in a whatever is coming from the source. Any questions guys till now? And in the same way, target update overrides, even I will try to show this thing in labs. Okay, this is a concept. Okay, we will try to understand that first, then we'll go for the target update overrides. Maybe I'll come back to this target update overrides. So I don't want to focus on this thing for now, at least. Other than that, yes. So we'll try to work on this lab now. State underscore employees to team underscore employees. I do come back with the target update overrides because this is not the right time to explain that. Any questions? Till now? Guys, am I going anything fast or something? Did you observe anything? Any comments on the way we are doing this journey? Okay, what is my lab? I supposed to load the data from stage underscore employees to dim underscore employees. Okay, I'm sorry. In my sources, I don't have this table at all. What I have to do? Any idea? Guys, my source is stage underscore employees, but I don't have it in source. What I have to do? I have to get it from the corresponding database. Guys, you're able to hear me, right? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, fine. So you're able to understand the concept, right? R is confusing. Open up, that's okay. I can think of some alternative things to explain. If you are not able to catch it.
A little bit confusing.
A little bit confusing.
Yes.
Okay, that's anyone else? How about the other people? Guys, at least answer. If you're okay, just say yes. I mean, we are okay. If you're not okay, just say like, okay, maybe just like a Vinuta, just confusing. See, I'm here to help you guys. Maybe you're putting a message or what? I don't think my lecture is that boring to sleep also.
No, Chaitanya. But
Oh, I think Janaki Ram left. Okay, fine. Govind, okay, you're the only one now. And Shashank, anyway, okay, you're good on this thing. Okay, fine. So, Vinuta, for you, okay, maybe can you give me one instance where it's confusing so that I can specifically focus?
Like whole concept is confusing for me.
Okay, maybe what I can
Hearing
suggest.
the first time.
Yeah, I can see your focus. Being in your place, trying to learn a new subject, right? Even it's a kind of confusing. Okay, so but like see,
Yes.
in that case, what you can do is split the things. Okay, right now I explained the things. I explained a sequence generator. I explained like a lookup caches. I explained like a update strategy. I explained like a router transformation. So many things. I mean, last 30 minutes. Definitely, it's confusing. I understand. It's not nothing new. But when you will look the confusion part is when you are able to try to work on the things, right? Definitely you lose the confusion. Okay, maybe start with one by one.
Okay.
Try to build a mapping. That is a basic thing. Try to use the expression transformation. Try to use a lookup transformation. Okay, so go one by one, one by one, one by one. Okay, I just explained the concepts today. So today onwards, like what we are going to do is like try to close all the labs. When I am explaining the labs, right? Try to refer the lab again and try to do it. Then you will get a clarity one by one.
Okay.
Even if when I'm explaining, it doesn't mean that okay, you understand everything. But only thing is I'm just guiding you so that you can refer it back. That's it.
Yes. Okay.
So, but like, see, when I'm stressing on some statement or something, right? This is very important. At least focus for that point. The rest of it is okay. But like whatever I'm stressing it out, or whatever the things I'm just saying is important, right? That statement, if you don't understand, please do ask the questions. Okay, only that is only my tool. So maybe I can recap. Sequence generator, okay, very high level. Okay, why it is used to generate the sequences. What are the sequences? To distinguishingly identify each and every record. That is what sequence. Just like index on your book. But to get that concept into Informatica, I have to have a separate transformation, the transformation sequence generator. When interviewer asking or like when you are looking at the subject, if you are able to get at least this point, you are good. Second thing, router. when you are working on any transformation, just like a filter, right? You cannot capture the discarded records, means the kind of records which are not matching, those things will be captured, or alternately, you can use the router transformation to capture them, or to classify the records into multiple groups. Another use. The basic use is you can capture the discarded records. Discarded means whatever is not matching with your condition, right? Those are called discarded. Very, very important. Third thing, lookup cache. Whenever you are trying to create a look, this is confusing only, I can understand, but just give it a try. Okay. So whenever you are building a cache, or whenever you are trying to use a lookup transformation, right? Normally what happens is, for every record, or not for every record also, for the first record, it will create a cache. In that cache, you will try to go into do the calculations. But lookup, I'm sure you won't understand it unless you practice it. But the rest of the concepts are simple only. Okay, don't worry. Now I started doing the lab, right? Again, I will try to showcase on each and every concept. Now I'm trying to bring, basically now my intention is to do this lab. Okay, forget about all the concepts, just try to understand the goal here. I need to get the data from stage employees, load the data into demand employee. Before continuing on this, try to see, do we have a data in stage employees first? Okay, I do have the data now. Now the same data I need to bring into dim underscore employees. Now I got my source. In targets, do I have dim underscore employees? No. So now bring the target. Govind, maybe you can focus on this, how I'm doing this. So my dim underscore employees, okay, where exactly is this thing? It is not under Oracle underscore stage, but where is this? It is under Oracle underscore. Basically, I didn't build any kind of any connection for this or driver for this. Now I'm trying to build a driver, and Govind, the same thing you have to do. Okay, as a first step.
Yeah.
Okay, you can refer this class.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'm selecting this driver. Okay, sorry, Oracle driver. Finish, and try to give the source name, maybe just any name. What I can give, Oracle underscore dimensions, not dimensions, basically data merge, localhost 1521. In your thing, it might be a little different. Okay, SID and these things. Just try to check it out how you are logging into your database. Test connect. Here it will ask. Okay, Oracle underscore DM. Just check it out. What is that schema? You built it here. Really? Let me validate this once. XC, sorry. Sorry, guys. And test connect. Connection is established. You have to do the same thing, Govind. Okay. Mention the any name, meaningful name. Host is a host. Only the SID, just check it. What is the SID?
Okay.
Now I built a DM. Just click on OK. Here now I'll get this. Oracle underscore DM. I don't have any tables here. Okay. Now try to see what exactly happening on Oracle underscore DM. I'm assuming I built the tables. No, I didn't. That's okay. Let's build the tables quickly. I'm doing one more thing, guys. I'm trying to change the structure a little bit because I would like to show you surrogate key concept. For that reason, I'm trying to build one more column. I'm calling it as a key. Okay, again, I'm taking this as a fine. Now I created a table. I'm going back here, reconnect tables, team employees. Now I got my table structure. Now try to blend. So stage underscore employees, and I'm trying to bring team underscore employees. Now from stage underscore employees, I need to get the data into team underscore employees. For most of the columns, right? Like you're having most of them except the date things, but that's okay for now. Okay, maybe tomorrow, because these two things you will not get now for sure. The reason is you're supposed to get those values from them by using a lookup transformation from the dim underscore dates. Okay, so that is going to be a kind of a dimension table to get the data. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to populate these things as it is. Employee ID, fine. Employee name, fine. Address, city, state, zip code, country. Little bit up and down, I think. No, state, zip code, country, phone number, fax number, email, gender, salary, age group, native language. Okay, first, let me connect these things. Just to make sure, because whenever you're doing the bulk things, right, or like make things in a kind of in a bulky way, better compare this thing, okay? Phone number to phone number, yes. Just randomly. Email to email, yes. Okay, now continue. So secondary language, territory is a third language, position type, dealership ID, regional manager, dealership manager, higher date. Okay, of course. Basically, these higher date things you have to go with your dim underscore dates. You have to send the higher date, get the corresponding date key. Date entered, corresponding date key. That's it. Okay. Now I would like to show you the sequence generator. Whenever I'm saying sequence generator, only one thing has to come to your mind. Where is the surrogate key? This example, this is what my surrogate key. For that, you have to get the sequence generator. This is what my sequence generator. See, simple thing. Only two ports. Okay, so nothing else. Right now, if you see the properties, right, always the start value will be 0 and increment by 1. This is the end value. Okay, maybe you will get a question. What if I load like these many number of reports? Basically, your job will fail. Because the sequence generator will not support more than this. Maybe your entry question, then how you're going to handle? Basically, you're going to handle by using a expression transformation, by using a different kind of logic. Okay, by using variable ports, you have to get this values need to be generated. There is no limit over there. Okay, but sequence generator, there is a limit. Once this big number, okay, is kind of a difficult thing to cross this big number. But in case maybe some kind of an interesting interviewers, right? So they might ask. Then you have to say, if really you are expecting that big level number, then you have to go with the database side properties, or you have to build in the expression transformation itself. Okay. Maybe thought for your brain, how you are going to implement that the sequences thing in a expression transformation. I can give the hint. Okay, you have to define in a variable ports. By using variable port, you can do that. But anyway, just for thought. Okay, so just try to give a chance. Okay, are you able to generate the sequences by using a expression transformation? Clear? Now, if you look at the ports, right, there are no ports, only like a kind of an output ports, that two next value and current value. If you look at the properties also, what is the current value? 1. Okay, because now if I connect the next value to any port, right, the first value is going to be 1. Okay, so whatever is listed here, basically that value you are pushing through next value. Just simple thing. Whatever is the current value is holding, right, that will go into next value, and you are connecting the next value to the next transformation. Now you tell me which one I'm supposed to connect, next value or current value. Technically speaking, you can connect anything, but normally next value will be connected. Okay, because this next value will hold the current value number, and you can see what exactly there in the current value. Now save this. Now click on generate workflow. Tomorrow class is going to be very crucial, guys. Try to, everyone try to join this class without skipping, because whatever we learned till now, we are integrating all this transformation in one map, and then we'll discuss. Okay, it's kind of a lab. A big lab, or like maybe you can call it a real lab. Right now, whatever we are doing, only to showcase. Okay, so tomorrow try to close your dim job. Okay, here. So pretty much simple. Maybe I might not create the connections also. Maybe go in is for you. Connections, relational. Oh no, I'm already having it, but go in for you. If you don't have these connections, right, try to click on new, select Oracle. Okay, click on OK. Then enter these details, put your proper name here and username and password. Connection strings are like whatever, like XC in my case ID1. Okay, just click on OK. That's it. Your connection will be created. For me, I'm already having this connection. So what I'm doing, go to mapping, select the source qualifier. My source is stage 1. And my target is a perfect, is it? Okay. Again, I'm selecting armor. Now I'm not selecting the truncate, because for the dimension tables, normally we don't choose that. Okay, just for testing sake, right? Maybe the actual testing, how we are going to do this. The testing wise, okay, how we are going to do this thing. First, you see the data. Do you have any records or not? Select star from. Okay, no records. Now I'm trying to run the job. Okay, now kick off the job. Succeeded. Okay, before checking let's first check the count also. What is your source? It's under different schema, right? So what I'm doing is I'm taking the count first. Guys, these are the strategies for your unit testing. 109 records. Now see how many records you loaded. 106 records. Okay, 3 records got rejected. Why? Now you have to see. This is what the actual thing you're supposed to be expert. This record got error. Cannot insert null into employee. So in the source, there are like 3 records which are null. Okay. Now, what are those 3 records which are null? What you have to do is where employee ID is See, there are 3 records, right? There are 3 records got rejected. Now, how to handle this? I need to put like a kind of a router here. Okay, let's try to make a router. Maybe you can say, why can't I take like a filter? Okay, I do have an option to take a filter in source file itself. How? Maybe we'll come to the router later. But like here, I do have an option to take a filter also. What is that filter? Employee ID. Okay, employee ID. Excuse me. Not is null. Okay. Now you can. Now I would like to see how this query is getting generated. Jan, what you have to do? You have to mention the credentials here. Right underscore STG. So I just clicked on generate itself. The backend, what exactly happening? This is what the query this is getting generated. Now valid. The reason is the kind of a condition what I put over here in the where condition. This is what the problem. Okay, so the wrong. What is the wrong here? The kind of sequence. Again, no errors left. Now it makes sense. So this is called source qualifier override. Okay, source qualifier override. So even if you want to write any kind of a query here related to that source, you can write it here. And whatever you wrote here only will go to the next transformation. Guys, if you want to get a clarity, please practice it. Okay, these are the source qualified properties. At least you have to practice a handful of jobs. Then you will understand all these things. Okay, so now I did put this property here. Okay, click on OK, apply. Okay, now save it. But before proceeding further, what I would like to do is I would like to delete the data, truncate this table. Maybe you can say, why don't you do in the mapping itself, like for the other stage mappings? I can do, but like normally we will not do truncates from the session. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to delete the data from demand display employees. So maybe you can ask the question, just have a thought about this thing. Always the dimension tables are okay, are not a truncate and load. The reason is this is belongs to data warehouse table. We don't have any kind of an option to delete the record. Okay, you should not. But then how I need to maintain the data? There, like the concept of slowly changing dimensions comes to the picture. So tomorrow we are going to discuss about them. Okay, that's the reason I'm saying very important class tomorrow. Just to showcase, okay, I'm doing this truncate. I'm going to it. Maybe I'll commit it. Or maybe, oh yeah, I'm in delete table. Okay, something is Surprising. Did I wrote wrong thing? Delete from the P. Oh, sorry. So now all rows got deleted. Now just check like for the sake of unit testing. Now there are no records, right? Earlier there are 106 records. 103 records. Now I delete all the records. Refresh it. And manage. Don't worry if you don't understand, but my suggestion is first to practice it. Then also if you don't understand, then you can come back. Can you see it now? All 106 records got loaded. Now try to see what are the sequence generators you got. Okay. Whether the sequence is got created or not. Anyone can guess what the sequence is going to be now. Anyone can guess how it is now. Why it's starting from 110? Guys, any idea why it's starting from 110? Why not with the 1? Any thoughts, guys? The reason is in the first run, you already loaded, okay? You already loaded like 106 records you loaded, okay? And 103 records you loaded and 3 already got rejected, okay? When you are going to the next run, right? Basically, I didn't select it like in the kind of cache. The next number started from the 110. And there's a reason the first record got the 110 and it's going to be end up with a almost like 106 records, right? That is going to be 215. Is this clear, guys? Are you able to understand what exactly I'm doing? This is a kind of a surrogate key, whatever I'm trying to build.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, see these concepts, right? We have to discuss again and again, okay? Because by combining all these things, only we can perform slowly changing dimensions. So tomorrow we'll discuss slowly changing dimensions, okay? But like my suggestion is to practice at least 1 or 2 mappings, okay? Any other questions? Anything? I'm sorry today my voice and I'm not that level of active. So if you don't have, I mean, if you don't have any kind of clarity on anything, right? Please do ask the questions. Okay, maybe tomorrow.